Junko Furuta is a Japanese student who was born on November 22, 1972. At the age of 16, she was very beautiful and very intelligent, which made her the focus of everyone around her, and most of the boys at school wanted to approach her and talk to her. For 5 minutes, but she was so committed and morally disciplined, she rejected any attempts to get close to her. One of these students who followed Junko very much was Hiroshi Miyano, the leader of the rowdy and bullied students at school. He was also a member of the Japanese Yakuza gang, which had power and authority over everything in the country, even the government itself, and of course, Hiroshi was used to not being rejected by others. And when Junko refused to hang out with him, he got very angry and decided to punish him severely for his behavior. He agreed with 3 of his followers to kidnap Junko after school. On November 25, 1988, 2 days before her 17th birthday, Junko left school and headed home. Although some say she went to her part-time job after school but never came home. She was kidnapped by a group of young boys, including a 17-year-old boy named Joe, who later went by the surname Kamisaku. They held their hostage in the house that belonged to Kamisaku's parents for 44 days. Junko was raped nearly 400 times while she was imprisoned there. They gave her cockroaches to eat, and if she vomited, they forced her to eat the vomit. These terrible and inhumane tortures lasted until January 4, 1989, and finally, Junko died under torture. Less than 24 hours later, on January 5, 1988, the killers dumped Junko's body in a 55-gallon container and filled it with concrete. Graham Young had a very strange hobby as a teenager. He was very interested in chemistry, and more than anything he liked to research the effect of poison on the human body. He spends hours of his daily time studying in the library about this subject, and when he turned 14 years old, he concluded that he should go beyond the basics of theory and virtually test his experiences and studies on people. Thus, he started his work by poisoning his family's food in 1961. All members of his family were affected by problems such as nausea, stomach pain, and diarrhea. Young later admitted that he sometimes accidentally poisoned himself because he didn't know which plate he had put the poison in. Graham's stepmother died in 1962 due to a series of poisonings. One of Graham's teachers found out about his interest in toxicology and became suspicious of this issue. That's why when he went to his school desk, he encountered large amounts of poison, paintings of dead people, and articles praising murderers. As a result, he quickly called the police, and after the incident was revealed, Graham was sent to Broadmoor Mental Hospital and spent the next 9 years there. After his release, he continued his work and poisoned 70 other people, until finally he was sent back to prison. Usually, when we hear horror tourism destinations, our thoughts first fly to obvious places such as cemeteries and abandoned and old places, but it might be interesting for you to know that schools may also be connected to the world of horror in a way due to some strange links. Be connected. When it comes to scary and haunted schools in America, the name of El Paso School surpasses other schools and takes the first place. The stories surrounding this school are endless. From strange corridors and fog to drops of sticky and foul-smelling liquid dripping from the ceiling. And of course, the secret classrooms that are located in the lower part of the current building and no one knew about. But perhaps the most important story is related to the photo of the students' graduation ceremony in 1986. The image of the woman in the middle of the picture is a little blurry, but there is no doubt that she is in this picture like everyone else. Or at least that's what anyone would think when looking at this picture. However, according to the statements of Pepsin students, no one was present when the photo was taken, and no one was able to identify the woman in the photo. Some people believe that this woman is a young girl who ended her life long ago by jumping from the balcony of the misty corridor. In this regard, some even testify that they have occasionally seen a ghost that jumps out of the same balcony and disappears in the air before it hits the ground. In any case, the name of El Paso High School may be tied to a concoction of horror stories and legends, but it is fascinating for lovers of the world of fear and excitement. Maybe if your school was located on the remains of a former city, such as a railway, a mine, and of course an old ranch, it would be a strange place. Remnants of the time when Arizona was still a growing territory, and perhaps this has caused the students to inadvertently encounter a spirit or two. Students at Lee Williams High School claim that they have encountered the ghost of a man wearing an old hat and walking through the empty hallways, while the ghost of a young girl roams the school at night and likes to go outside. These two spirits usually leave an impact on the state of the lights and leave a physical mark when they appear and move. On the other hand, during renovations in 2010, a part of the school's football field was built right above the old city cemetery, and this may explain the appearance of ghosts dressed in old clothes seen during graduation ceremonies. In addition, the existence of 7 coffins buried under the ground is also another reason for this classic conquest, and they play an important role in this story.